Bienvenidas, bienvenidos. So exciting. The civil society is absolutely present and active at COP30 in Belém, Brazil. Let's go there and see what's going on. But first, this is Latinaliterati. Belém, the archway into the Amazon in Brazil, is currently absolutely the place of convergence for hundreds upon hundreds of indigenous leaders and groups from many different countries. As you know, the Amazon encompasses many countries in South America, and just as 33 years ago the first environmental crises, environmental impact meeting was held in Brazil, now 33 years later, the meeting COP30 has come back to Belém to really look at the impacts and who needs to pay for all of the pollution and who's really paying for it. It's mostly indigenous people and countries that do not pollute in terms of the grand scheme of things. Fascinating that one of the solutions is to have indigenous territory or land reserved and recognized as that. And that is a way to protect it from any of the extractive activities. And so what are the two main extractive activities? They are mining and oil and gas. And so to protect the communities from exploitation and violence, and to protect the land by designating huge swaths of the Amazon as territorial or belonging to indigenous groups, it allows them to control what happens on those lands, and almost all will absolutely exclude any extractive activities. Really interesting because there's also a path called no contact. An indigenous group can decide we want no contact with the outside world, and they are designated as such and even given farmer protection so that no one can go into their lands. President Lula has recognized over half dozen new territories in these days because hundreds of indigenous representatives basically stormed COP30 and said, we want to be heard, we want to be protected. It's just unheard of that there are over 2,000 representatives of the extractive industries of oil and mining, and our voices are not being heard. There are about 900 registered indigenous participants in the actual conference, but thousands more have come from many countries, Ecuador and Venezuela and of course Brazil. But so it's fascinating to see how the indigenous community is coming together and saying, basta ya, enough is enough. We don't want to be part of the defilement of Mother Earth and the annihilation of our communities, because that's really what extractive activities mean. It means that the waterways are forever polluted. It means that the forest is just stripped. And so in order to protect the people who live in the Amazon and keep the mining, keep all of the ore, keep all of the oil in the ground, and that's what they're saying, just keep it in the ground. We need to find alternative means of fueling our economies. We can't depend on these fuels that cause destruction. There are alternative means, and there are countries, for example, like Costa Rica, that are almost 100% or are 100% run now by renewable energies. And so countries have other options. There are so many viable options that we absolutely do not need to continue down this path of destruction. And so that's really the message from the indigenous peoples. We are here to protect the Amazon, and as they say, the Amazon is literally saving the earth through its biodiversity, through its waterways, and through existing as one of the greener areas of Earth. So we congratulate these amazing activists who have already succeeded, And I think also by the greatest polluter, the U.S. not being present, not having a high-level delegation, kind of breathes air, breathes space into real negotiations. You don't have that, boot at the neck of so many. If they're not there, then all of a sudden communication and collaboration and possible new solutions are available. So really looking forward to what comes out of that, and we congratulate all of the Indigenous people and their allies who are at COP30 in Belém, Brazil, making a difference and saving our world. And now on for my favorite part of the video, the book recommendations. So the first book I'm going to recommend to you today is by Dom Phillips. It's appropriately entitled How to Save the Amazon. And so this book really goes into a journalist's quest into these hard questions. How do we ensure the Amazon stays safe, and how do we protect it from these very violent, very extractive forces that want to just go in and tear everything out, grab what they want, and basically steal it, because it's stealing when you take what is not yours. And so I do believe that there is a pivot occurring in the world, and I do believe that the vast majority of people on Earth want to protect the Amazon and want to ensure that we have a greener path forward that doesn't lead to our own destruction, that actually can look at new ways, new visions, and new solutions to the power question and how we are going to power the future. It is going to be different and new. It absolutely will not be fossil fuels. We are past that. We know they have peaked, and we need a new vision, a new way of looking at our cities and our communities and our societies, and how do we protect each other from violence of the state, and how do we protect each other from the corporations who just want to take resources, including our data, sell it, make a profit, never-ending profits. So again, check your local library, check your local bookstore. We want to support local libraries and bookstores as we look for books, and the backbone, the heart of every community are local businesses, and so we really need to focus on sharing with each other and also protecting and supporting local businesses. The second book I'm going to recommend to you is Walking the Jungle: An Adventurer's Guide to the Amazon. And again, very appropriate if you want to go into the Amazon and really experience it. I've had friends who have gone up different rivers in the Amazon. There's supposedly an opera house somewhere, but it's of course very impactful, and seeing the biodiversity and the flora and fauna is beyond description, and of course the heat and the humidity. But the Amazon is a precious resource that we can only protect it if we know more about it, and we know how to help those who live there and are fighting for its safety. So I would encourage you to support those who are trying to save the Amazon. And let me know what you think. What are you reading? Have you been to the Amazon? Do you have any good stories or books you'd like to share with our community? We would love to hear from you about your Amazon adventures. As always, thank you so much for joining us on this joint journey and for coming to the end of the video. So thank you so much. And as always, con mucho cariño, mucho salud, mucho amor. Gracias.